had someone reach out to me and say that they had really triggered them reading a post around is that self-loving or self-loathing that was posted a few days back. And I started thinking about how so damn hard on ourselves we are. Like even in the last 2 weeks, I've had a child that's really, really unwell, and it's just been, an added pressure and a stress, and you want to make everything okay, and all of these other elements start to come up. And then life happens or life gets in the way. And then, there's often that we even start to beat ourselves up. So I think today I want to really focus the key element for this healing on acceptance. I think there's a lot of things that we deem as right or wrong. Maybe even, things within ourselves. And we can be very critical on ourselves. Imagine if we treated ourselves the way that we would look after a child in need, and we don't. And a lot of the things that we end up having these programs or all of these areas that start to almost overrule or run us, is the self-loathing or self-loving. They can also come from that kind of critical place within. And we can even have a lot of coping mechanisms that we run. Maybe protection mechanisms, maybe we shy away from things, maybe there's so much disconnection, isolation, all of these things. And it just all contributes to stress. So I guess today I want to really talk about acceptance, and I want to use the chakras as that guiding post for you to go through and have an experience in your energetics, to let go of anything within self that creates resistance, or it's also called duality. Duality only exists at the level of mind. It's when there's like two sides to something. It's like a flip side of a coin, right or wrong, judgments. And they almost lock us out of our highest self or those free flow energetics. Even like our healing journey can become cumbersome. And sometimes we don't even think that we're getting it right or doing it right. And then we deem ourselves as wrong. Or maybe I come up against another barrier and I'm really hard on myself. And in that being hard and critical, it's like I end up escalating the restriction or having it take longer than if I was just kind to myself and if I was more accepting of what is. I think acceptance, especially at that level of energetics, so at the level of mind, but even at the highest placed in self, it allows for new insights and new awareness to come in. It allows for that pathway to create almost reconciliation, is being said to me now, but I was going to say almost like a reordering or a knowing of what maybe those next steps look like. It almost creates that space for more answers to come in. Because often the answers that we're looking for or searching for aren't the ones that we thought were going to be the answer. And when we hold those, preconceived ideas, that actually creates more blocks to being able to just move forward. So maybe I'd like you to take a minute and think about if there's any areas in life that it's like you get in your own way. Maybe it's even taking other people's judgments and opinions as fact when it's not. Maybe it's valuing another's words rather than your own. Maybe it is coping mechanisms that you just step away from yourself over and over. Maybe it's not trusting the path. Maybe it's getting fearful and almost shutting down rather than opening up to new information and insights that could pave the way to actually step forward in self. Honestly, it's almost like we become our own, our own restrictions, over and over and over again. And generally, it's because of the narrative that sits here, or the overcomplication of situations. And so what I find through this process with people is they start to have this higher wisdom and higher, almost insights start to come in. It's like you're able to even look at your past through a new lens and hear a higher story on it, more of the truth. And when we can actually see truth, it becomes that platform for releasing and, transmuting those places in self that feel separate or disconnected into a reconnection. And I was then also thinking about, what I do work-wise with entity interference and things like that. And then I was thinking, there's always this fight between light and dark. But the first starting place is that within, right? And bringing more balance to that light and dark within, because everybody has those two sides. So this healing process today, it's like I would like you to be a witness to these energetic centers and just hear maybe what the restriction, what's holding you back from stepping into that next step on your progression path, and being able to witness it without insecurity or without old programs and old stories, to hear a heightened awareness around it. And then that's transformation. So it's about letting go of anything that is stopping you from moving forward. But it's also about acceptance and free flow energetics today, and being in the correct timing and self.